sports, and we'll see who rules the skies in today's battle. It's the Falcons and the Ravens, and it comes your way next on Madden NFL 22.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland, and M&T Bank Stadium. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Atlanta Falcons and the Baltimore Ravens. Set to go now on a beautiful sunny afternoon. And off we go from M&T Bank Stadium. No run back here on the opening kickoff as we'll start at the 25. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. And a look here at their go-to guy under center.
I read something prepping for this game that he said prior to, and I think he really said it a few months ago, where he talked about he wants to have the type of season that at the end, he's buying gifts for all the guys who have helped him along the way. And I know that the team wants to hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job, QB, he's usually the guy who springs for the good stuff.
On 1st and 10, Miller. That's caught by Rison. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
I don't care who you put on him, he's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. From the gun, Miller. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
That was well defended. They clamped down on every available receiver. Just got to give the win to the defense on that snap.
Second and 10. Looking to throw. Miller. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves him with 3rd and 9 looming. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that. Well, it's just been an aerial attack all the way downfield, and they're putting it to the defense in a big way right now. What do you think, partner? Do you now run the football? Because they're in a pretty good spot already at the outer edges of the field goal.
But, like you always tell me, you're still far enough away from the end zone that a pass could be a good option here, too.
You know, we always talk about running the ball until people take it away from you. I don't see any reason to stop throwing it until they take it away from you as well.
Well, the early returns here on the opening drive, though. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 22. And the Ravens are going to get the football here as they force the INT on the game's opening drive. So here are the Ravens now as they get set for their opening possession. And here's a look at their leader, standing 6'4".
It's pretty much become the norm when we see guys come out before a game and go through the route tree with their receivers. I thought it was exciting for us to see the exact same thing happen in practice.
He's so meticulous, isn't he?
He really is, and that tells me it's not just a one-time-a-week thing. They work on it all the time, trying to hone that fine edge. They want to see if they can get in sync and stay in sync in this one.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. On first down, he'll drop to throw. And that'll be incomplete.
And I can see the officials kind of looking at each other down there, silently wondering, does this meet the level of grounding? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties.
Here's 2nd and 10. They'll drop to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. Who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. He'll drop to throw. Over the middle, Sharpe's got it complete. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
Now Lewis here on first down. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
Single, slot. Hey, you're on an island over there.
They'll set up a throw. Throw left side, complete to Sharpe. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. That's going to back him up almost a full 10 yards. It's going to be a loss of 9 officially, and it's 4th down. Now the Ravens bring out the field goal unit here. And this will be a 45-yard attempt. And this one is right down Broadway. And the Ravens strike first and 3's in. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. He'll look to shake off the interception on the opening drive. He should at least be comforted that it resulted in 3, not 6.
And if I were him, I would be the guy all the way out on the field greeting my defense now, saying thanks a lot. You held them to a field goal after I turned it over. That's a big defensive stand for them. He needs to go out now and make up for what he did on the first drive.
And he'll be taken down right around the 27. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
All right, Brandon, I I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Operating from the gun, Miller. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. That'll be 3rd down. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling can lead to no yards gained. Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the 1st down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now a handoff looking right. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. After 1 on EA Sports. 2nd quarter now, Falcon football, as they've got it 2nd down and 12. To throw, Miller. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down.
I feel a little bit like a traitor as a former defender because that big man did not want to go down and refused to go down. If you're a defender and you don't get the right angle on a big tight end like him, he can run right through you like you're not even there. And he did a lot of that on that play.
So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 41. Now they try the right side here. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Behind the chain, 2nd and 12. Looking to throw. Miller. His throw incomplete.
That's just flat out a terrific play because it's rare that you see a hitch route batted down. That means someone read that one really well and was right on the spot when the ball got to the receiver.
Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Back to throw. Miller trying to lay one up deep. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. A great play there. 43 yards. And the Falcons have taken the lead. Well, he's been doing this for a lot of years. The arm strength still there, and he showed it off on that one.
And you'd think on 3rd down, they'd just be looking for something right beyond the sticks. And I think they caught the defense flat-footed as a result, because they decided they were going to take a shot right there, and it ended up being a big play.
Now the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. So that drive in total 8 plays. And the Falcons score to cap it off. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will come out to the 25 as Lewis going to opt to not return it. Baltimore set to take over here for their second possession of the game. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
They start the drive on the ground with Lewis. Uses the stiff arm. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurdling through them.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Now Lewis. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for second down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Second and 14. They'll look to throw here. Complete. This is Lewis. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, but he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
Now a play fake here on first down. That's complete to Sharpe. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, second and 2.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he could break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Ahead of the chains now, second and 2. He'll look to throw. He's got a man. It's his fullback.
And they pick up a first down, and that came out of the fullback position. But as you and I both know, that doesn't necessarily mean that's a fullback playing in that spot.
But times have changed, right? The old school fullback doesn't really exist anymore.
We're not getting that same player out of college. With all the spread offenses, not very many pro style, where you actually have a true fullback. We're having to make do in the NFL and put guys in that spot who emulate it but aren't necessarily that position.
And he'll be taken down at the 34. 2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score. A reminder coming up in a couple of minutes' time. We'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman, the coach in our EA Sports studios. He'll have a look back at the next-gen stats from this first half of action. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 20-yard line.
This has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. Now a throw here to his running back. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
All defense is worried that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Second and 7. Back to throw again. Brought in by Coates. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So it's 1st and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. Again, he'll drop to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And the Falcons are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing well, your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that will tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, because he's looked pretty good to this point. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Miller now on 1st and 10. Now they go screen. It's complete. Oh, and I think the ball's out, and it's picked up by the Ravens. And now we'll get a stoppage here. There appears to be an injured Falcon on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And with good starting field position and 3 timeouts as well in their pocket, no reason not to try and put a late scoring drive together. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Let's go.
From the 47, it's 2nd and 5. Looking to throw. Miller. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30.
Let's go. When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. From the gun, Miller. And his throw here is incomplete. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way. A dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And now Miller hit, and he fumbles. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And now off to the races, down the right side. He's at the 30, 10. And this is going to be brought back for a Baltimore touchdown. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice for such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
Extra point attempt to come here. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. Takes it at the 7.
Let's go. Let's go.
So we're at halftime here in the Inner Harbor with the hometown Ravens on top. We now proceed to the start of the second half. All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. ready to receive it. And they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. And here's Lewis. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. The Raven offense set to start this third quarter. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. And he stopped immediately there. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. And defensively, they were in zone covers there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half. And that trend is continuing here.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. The play action fake. They'll look to throw. He's got his man Sharpe complete. And oh, he coughed it up. And the Falcons grab it. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
We're going to shut you down.
So turnovers, Charles, you figure will be key in the second half, and that's a big giveaway there.
Yeah, and as you and I both know, coaches are always preaching ball security, and none more often than right here in the second half of a tight football game. Now you've got to believe what the coaches are saying and take care of that football.
They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. 1st and 10 here. Following the fumble recovery, Miller, he's going to air one out. And this one is incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Off play action, Miller. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
An important play right here, 3rd and 10.
And I would expect pressure here.
Now Miller on 3rd down. And that's incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part and got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football and now zapped right back in the other direction. The Falcons send out their punter. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You've got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. They'll start off with a give to Lewis. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Again, it's Lewis. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. It's rare that a man his size can at least push forward for a yard, but they stopped him there for nothing.
You're talking about Tiny? You're talking about the little guy back there? That monster. Yeah, you're exactly right. And it takes a group effort to get a guy like that down and not let him find some space. The first guy in, he's got to take one for the team, right? Because he's just waiting there and holding on for everyone else to help him out.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big play that time through the air. 31 yards. Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They went zooming past that number there. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. He won't find a ton of space following the display of power as he's down just inside the 45. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Coming up on 2nd and 7. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Looking left side, he's got it, complete. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. On play action, they'll throw. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And this is caught. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. A big connection on that one. 38 yards.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? The guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field, pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route well run, and the football right on the money.
It's a 5-receiver set, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. They'll look to throw again. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. A great effort there. There to make the grab. And the Ravens are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter. That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the 3rd quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is let you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you've taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They find themselves down 17-7 as they start this drive 1st and 10. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Falcons. They'll have the football, but trailing on the scoreboard as we get set to begin the 4th. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Back to throw. Miller, he's going to float this one deep right side. And that will be incomplete. They weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He's going to take another shot here. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown, Falcons. A big play there. 84 yards. And the Falcons have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. Quite a show of arm strength right there. That was in the air for a long time, and it was on target, too.
And give him credit. He deserves it. But this is such a breakdown defensively, my goodness. From a pass rush perspective, you know that they got to be coming hard on 4th down trying to get to the quarterback. But from a coverage perspective, how do you not see that play developing? And it turns into a touchdown.
And that throw, amazingly, well over 70 yards in the air, according to Next Gen Stats. Wow. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will come out to the 25 as Lewis going to opt to not return it. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And after a rough start, as we take a peek at the numbers, he's going in the right direction now.
So often when you see a game start the way we saw this one start for him, you just wonder if he's got a chance to bring it back at all. And that's exactly what he's done. Love seeing that happen simply because you know a guy has struggled and now he's found a way to make things better. That's pretty good stuff right there.
They'll run on 1st down. Lewis. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 45 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much for the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Yeah, not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, they want to ride him down the stretch. He should have fresh legs.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll let the QB keep it here off the option. Finding some room at midfield. And finally marked down at the 42-yard line.
All right, I don't want to get too poetic here where we talk about, the eyes being the windows of the soul. You know what else the eyes do? They see the open spaces on a field, and those eyes carry your legs to those spots, and that's what happened on that play. He saw a an opening and went and got it.
Well, he really hasn't ran the ball all game. Fourth quarter here, need a big play, able to pick it up. So whatever the eyes saw and created, it worked. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. He'll decide to keep this once more. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the Falcons grab it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
Well, that takeaway, partner, right there, that's a combination of coaching, execution, and absolute belief. Because a lot of guys will look at the scoreboard and go, this thing's pretty well done. But they still thought to themselves, if we can make a play, we give our teammates a chance to win it. And that's exactly what they did.
Miller, following the fumble recovery, he'll throw. Into the hands of Rison, that's complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A big play that time through the air. 33 yards.
That could very well be a defining play in this game. A touchdown, that gives them the lead, and they took a major step towards getting there with that big play right there.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. He finds some open field here. Touchdown, Falcons. A great play there. 39 yards. And the Falcons on just 2 plays have taken the lead. And that one heck of a run right there. Once he got loose, you could tell that he was going to run a long way. That was pretty impressive.
And there's an old chestnut of an expression called getting on your horse. And I hate to use it, but I'm going to right here because it absolutely applies. How about the head of steam he had behind him? He was absolutely galloping downfield. That was something to see.
And exactly how fast was he going? According to Next Gen Stats, 21.7 miles per hour. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Now Lewis selects to return it. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line. And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the 4th quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And this one caught by Coates.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion and would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
They go play action here on first down. Looking sideline, incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Back to throw here. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. He did an okay job of absorbing the hit, just couldn't secure the football through the catch.
And he was right there on the spot and forced the incompletion. That's something defenders work on all the time. If you're there, make the contact, but continue to work your way through the receiver so that you can't possess the football and turn it into a catch.
Complete. It's Johnson. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner. We watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
So after 2 first downs, they get another here. 1st and 10 at the 45. Now back to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Lewis. 7 yards to pick up there.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
3 yards remain for 2nd down. They'll set up to throw. Going up top. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 15. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
I'm not sure, Brandon, we've seen a sloppier played game this year for a team on offense. Turn it over 4 times and expect to win? No chance whatsoever. And look, I have no idea what the ratio is about turnover 4 times and how that correlates to winning or losing, but I'll guarantee you, it's not very good.
Atlanta prepped and readied for its next possession. Another important 4th quarter series coming up. That last INT helping to maintain their slim advantage. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Miller.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. And he's able to get up here to the 26. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. They're not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. Second down and 8. Hands it off out of the gun. A very tough run, but for a short gain out near the 32.
That's it, baby.
Ravens going to use their third and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on third. Looking to throw. Miller. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he is going to have a Falcons first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5.
Well, they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
A couple of first downs have them to the 40 now on 1st and 10. The Falcons in victory formation as they take a knee. Down to a knee one more time, and that should just about do it.
Partner, they took a knee to finish this one off. To me, that's the only thing they lost in the 4th quarter. How about that comeback?
Yeah, trailed coming into the last frame. Got it done, taking the knee. A great come-from-behind victory in this one, Charles, and really the difference, obviously, was that 4th quarter. They dominated.
And it has this